Hey, what's up everybody? Don't mind me right now. I'm just checking out the settings on OBS. That's the Open Broadcaster Studio or software that I'm using for the live stream setup. So I was playing a little bit of music, dance like nobody's watching, because at this point in time, I don't think there's anybody watching. So I'm just getting everything set up. Today's video is going to be about live streaming my blogging process. As a WordPress coder, developer, designer, blogging is something that I find to be very important to be part of your opportunity to get discovered online. It's part of your search engine optimization strategy, and this is something that you should definitely focus on if you want to be found online. Besides making videos here on YouTube, I also create blog posts for my website, and I also share content on other social media platforms. So definitely check out my other links that I'll leave in the description section. And if you have any questions as it pertains to blogging or search engine optimization, or how to use WordPress for blogging, just feel free to leave it in the comments section. I will be taking a look at that periodically to see if there's any comments coming up or any questions that you might have. So let me just jump over to that real quick. I want to see if this is if the comment section is going to be available. If you have any issues with the sound or the video, just let me know, because this is my second time doing this live stream setup. So I'm always going to be trying to figure out how I can improve the whole entire process of vlogging or live streaming or creating these videos, trying to find different ways to make it work. I see we already have one person or 7 people watching, one comment, Sagar Bahalerao. I apologize if I messed up your name. I truly apologize for that. I'm still figuring all this stuff out. But thank you for joining the live stream, and just let me know how the audio sounds, if the audio is syncing with the video. That's something that I want to make sure is performing well or doing well. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for confirming the fact that the audio and the video is syncing well. Now, I was playing music in the beginning. That's from Epidemic Sound, and which is a good music library that YouTube creators can use for their videos with a subscription. So that's pretty cool. I have a bunch of their different downloads, and I try to use it within my intros or my outros for my videos. And since I'm going to be doing these live streams more often, what I want to do is make sure that after the live stream is ended, that there's when it's uploaded or archived to the channel, that in the intro there's some music playing. Because if you saw my live stream from yesterday, there's about a 20-second or 30-second moment of silence in the beginning where there was no sound being played, and I found that that's kind of weird when you're playing it back after the live stream has ended. So I'm trying to figure out the balance between doing the live stream, making it seamless, and also making sure that afterwards it has some decent intro potential there as well. So for people who might be joining after the fact, we've been joined by Charlie Gray II. He says that the audio is good and the streaming is strong. Thank you so much. I definitely want to learn how to best use this software. It's OBS, Open Broadcaster Software. It's free. It's open source. You can download it, use it on your Windows computer, your Mac, or your Linux machine. So today what I wanted to create this blog or this live stream about is blogging on my website, which is PixemWeb.com. So, I create my blog post over here. I try my best to coincide my blog writing with my videos that I upload to YouTube. Now, I do fall behind, and that's something I'm always trying to improve upon in terms of, being consistent in terms of my content creation, whether it's YouTube videos or if it's blog posts that I'm creating, or if it's, if it's contents I'm creating on other websites like Quora, which is something that I frequent a lot as well. All right, so let's see. We have some more comments here. Someone says, hello, sir. Thank you so much. Hi, Tesh. Thank you for joining the live stream. We currently have 8 people watching. So, again, just if you have any, questions on what this channel is about, just feel free to ask me. If you want to ask me WordPress related questions, you could ask those as well. In a moment, once I get everything settled here, I'm going to start blogging on my website, and I'll go over some of the processes that I use in terms of creating my blog content, making sure it's search engine optimized and ready, to be viewed online, things of that nature. So definitely, if you haven't checked out my website, visit it. It's PixemWeb.com/blog, and this is where you'll find, the vast majority of the content I create online. These are some of the blog posts that I've created, and they also correlate with the videos that I create on my channel. So, definitely check that out. If I just realized, rookie mistake, I haven't been showing you the screen where I have the my website. So let me go to that one right here. This is my website, PixemWeb.com. This is the blog page. And as I was mentioning, this is where you'll find the content or blog posts that I create for the videos and content that I share on my website. So check it out. It's PixemWeb.com/blog for the blogging section. And, I try to create these blog posts whenever I create a new video on WordPress. It's not always going to be the same day that I create the content. So that's something, you definitely going to probably have to come back maybe a day or two later in order to see the written content, since I have to, obviously edit videos and, try to mix in some work at the same time. So let me go back over here, playing around with OBS, which is the Open Broadcaster software. Let me go back over here, see if there's any more comments or statements. All right. Let me see. Charlie Gray says, yes, me too. I'm learning from you how to utilize, etc. I know it's a new tool. We must learn. Yeah, so in terms of OBS, it's great. It's a great piece of software. And it's something that I think it's, if you're going to be doing live streams, it's something you may want to, to utilize. There's a bunch of cool features. And once I get fully versed in how to use it, then I'll do some more technical reviews and And we're back. The sound is back. This is something I'm learning. It's a little hiccup that I found within the software that it sometimes cuts out the sound. So I do apologize for that little interruption there. I'm trying to keep my eye on the monitor over here on the right-hand side. So definitely, if you notice that that the sound goes away, let me know. Let me know immediately, because once I start blogging, that's something I might miss if I don't see the audio levels taking effect. So we have 6 people watching. Actually, my wife is over here watching. She's at work over here. So thanks for watching, babe. This is going to be interesting how I deal with these little technical hiccups. And if you notice, I do have the music that I'm playing. I wonder if that caused any issues when I was playing the music at the same time. So let me check that out.
Don't care what you came from, only what you go through.
All right, so I just played the music again. Didn't seem to cause any issues with the volume on the side. So I will start the blogging process now. And I'm sure that my wife is probably scratching her head wondering why I'm dancing on a YouTube live stream over here. So, all right, let me get to the process over here. I am going to go into my website now, PixemWeb.com. Let me bring that up to the display center. And there we have it. All right, so when you're creating a blog post, there's a couple of things you want to focus on. You want to make sure that you have a good title for your blog post, something that's search engine friendly, something that would be a natural term that people might, use when they're doing a Google search. So that's something you may want to, spend some time working on. And then you want to have some basic outlines on what you're going to be creating your blog post about. Is it going to be, a how-to type blog post? Is it going to be a list, like a top 10 list type blog post? Or what type of information are you going to be sharing on your blog post? And why should people read it? And if hopefully, why should people share it online? So that's something you want to spend some time focusing on. And, that can be part of your process that you develop. It could be something you get very good at. Or it could be something that, it takes a considerable amount of time for you to practice. But eventually, no matter what, with practice and with, a concerted effort, you will do better as time goes by. Blogging is something that, I'm not the greatest at. I don't do it as often as I should. But, I definitely recommend that people, spend time learning this stuff. There's a bunch of great websites and a bunch of great online courses that can show you for free how, to blog like a pro. All right, so this is my website here. And part of the process when you're on WordPress is you go over here to new and then post. All right, so here we have the add new post for my WordPress powered website. Now it might look a little bit different than your website because I have it set up to be 1 column instead of 2 columns. You can work with that by going to the screen options and choosing either 2 columns or the 1 column. I like the 1 column option. It's kind of like the distraction-free mode of WordPress, but it's a 1 column type format. And also I'm using just the text editor. I'm not using the WYSIWYG. I'm not a fan of WYSIWYGs, in terms of doing stuff like this, since I like to put in some custom code or things of that nature. And sometimes with WordPress, what you're going to find is if you go back and forth between the text editor and the WYSIWYG editor, then you're going to potentially mess up any embedded code that you might be displaying for people to view. So if we go to one of my other blog posts, I can show you what I mean. And what I'm going to do here is I'll grab the live dashboard, bring it to another window so I can keep the comments open at the same time. If we go to the one of my older blog posts, let's see, where I have some code that's going to be displayed for people to view. So if you want to change the read more link, you can go over here and we have this code here. So this is code that I'm sharing for people to use on their website, and it's something that you know, I want to make it as easy as possible for people to share. So, you know, you could always just copy and paste it like this. I developed the capability to go over here and to copy to clipboard, and then it'll be right there in your clipboard. Let me go to Notepad real quick. And there you go. So it copies it to the clipboard. Now, the thing is, if you're adding your code in the text editor of your WordPress post, if you go back to the WYSIWYG, then you might lose the custom code or the potential for that, you know, to be there for people to just easily copy and paste. So that's why I have it over here as just the regular editor. And the way I did that is I go to my settings and I set it up in my user profile just to use the editor. All right, so the title of this post over here, add new post. YouTube live stream my blogging process. Now, this is going to be a draft. I'm going to probably change this up, or maybe do a little bit more research of what, you know, I should name this over here. But, you know, definitely the title is going to be something that's extremely important for you to focus on when you are creating a blog post. So what I do here is normally I just start typing away. I could do this on Word, I could do this on Google Docs, or I can just do it right here within the editor itself. You know, so you have your title there. That'll be the H1 tag for that particular post. And then if you want to start typing away, just start working on your rough draft. And that will give you something that you can work on and fine tune and edit later on. So before I start typing away, does anybody have any quick questions that they want to ask? I see we have 4 people watching at this point. So I think I probably lost a couple of people there when the sound went away. So I'm taking a notation on those little technical hiccups. But does anybody have any questions they want me to answer before I start blogging over here? Just feel free to put it into the chat section. All right, so now I'm going to start typing away. So I can either start doing the formatting. So since I'm doing this just in the text editor, I don't have all the options that you would normally have, you know, in the bar section over here. So, but I can just start putting in my own custom tags, and that's just my flow. It doesn't have to be something that you do. So I will put for the H2 tag over here, blogging about my experience live streaming on YouTube. All right, so that's just going to be for the H2. Close that off, and now go to the next line. You don't have to put the paragraph tags in there, even if you're in the text editor, because it will convert it on its own when you go to publish the post itself. So you don't have to worry about doing that. But just checking my audio levels, making sure that the audio is still on, and just again let me know if that goes off. All right, so now blogging about my experience live streaming on YouTube. As a WordPress coder and developer, I spend time creating content for or on my website and for YouTube. I always advise people who have a YouTube. Don't mind me over here. I'm just narrating in my process, speaking it out loud, so that way I can hear it as I'm writing it out. So that way, if there's any issues, I can hear what that issues might be, because sometimes you're going to be typing something out and it might seem okay, but then once you speak it out loud, it might have a different flow. You might catch something that you didn't see. So as a WordPress coder and developer, I spend time creating content on my website and for YouTube. I always advise people who have a YouTube channel that they should have a website or blog, pretty much both the same, so they can share their video content for people to read. Now, why is this important? Why do I always tell people, if you're creating videos for YouTube, or if you're creating content on other platforms, why should you have a website? It's important because you need a foundation. You need your center for your brand. You need a place where you control all the content, and your website, it's yours. If it's a WordPress powered website where you own the domain name and you have your hosting account, that is your website, your content. Nobody else has control over that. So if there's any algorithm changes, within a platform that you're using, at least you'll have your core location where people could always find you on. Obviously, there's the search engines that do factor in as well, but over time, you'll start developing a following, you'll start developing a readership, and that's definitely something that, that's beneficial when you're blogging, so when you're creating content that you have your blog. All right, so I have my first sentence over here, that they should have a website or blog so they can share their video content for people to read. This is helpful when you want to have a primary location on the web where people can find out more about you, and you'll have the potential to get found within the search engines. Now, this is important too, because we got to remember that YouTube is owned by Google. So Google is the #1 search engine online, and YouTube is the second largest search engine online. So you definitely want to make sure that you have the opportunity to not only get found within YouTube's algorithm, but also within Google search. And I'll do let me open up an incognito window over here. And I'll just do a basic search and show you what I mean. So this is an incognito mode. And what we see here is the first two, well, not the first two, but on the first page, we have WP Sweep, WordPress Database Optimization plugin, and then WP Sweep versus WP Optimize, WordPress plugins battle. So these are videos that I created on these particular plugins for WordPress, and they show up within Google search. So that's cool. But then if you scroll down further, maybe go to the next page, let's see, somewhere right here. So I fell back to the second page for this one here, but it shows up within the search engines for my article as well. So I get two bites at the apple over here. I get to show up in YouTube search and also in Google search for my videos and for my content. So that's why content creation is so important. All right, so that's going to be my first rough paragraph. So you see I have my H2 here. This is my regular paragraph. And now I'm going to go down again, and I'll start off my next paragraph. Live streaming is something that's becoming more important for content creators to focus on. since we live in the world of reality TV. All right, so that's just a general statement there. I'll probably have to clean that up, fine tune it, things of that nature. I'll turn off the distraction-free mode here. Scroll down, I'll take a look at the Yoast score over here for readability. It's currently set to OK, so that's fine. And then I'll scroll down further. Haven't put any tags yet. Haven't focused on the category yet. That's something you want to think about as well. Further down, we have the Yoast SEO settings. It goes to the readability. You have your score. So this is something you want to focus on. This is still early within the actual blogging process for this blog post, but you can get a sense of how your content or how your writing is moving along. So we have 2 problems here and then 4 good results. 2 problems. 60% of the sentences contain more than 20 words. So they're telling me I'm long-winded. So that's not something I haven't heard before. It's recommended to have a maximum of 25%. Try to shorten the sentences. All right, so I got to focus on that. And then 20% of the sentences contain passive voice. All right, so it's saying that I'm a passive talker, I guess. So, which is more than the recommended maximum of 10%. So try to use the active counterparts. And then for this section here, it says the good results, the copy score is 64.5, so that's good. The amount of words following each of the subheadings doesn't exceed the recommended maximum of 300 words, which is great. And none of the paragraphs are too long. And 60% of the sentences contain a transition word or phrase, which is great. So now we know that we want to make sure that in the subheadings we don't exceed 300 words and that the paragraphs don't run on too long. All right, so if you notice that if I make a mistake, just feel free to comment on that as well. Leave a message in the chat section, and so that way I can correct it in real time. And I'll just keep on over here. So it says that my sentences are long. So this first one here, as a WordPress coder and developer, I spend time creating content on my website and for YouTube, I always advise. So that's a sentence right there. Then I go into another one. Let me see. That's a pretty long sentence there. And then this is helpful when you want to have a primary location on the web where people can find. Yeah, so that's another long sentence there. So I only have 110 words, so we definitely got to pick that up as well. So where did I leave off? Live streaming is something that's becoming more important for content creators to focus on since we live in the world of reality TV. All right, so now let's continue this this statement or this content. So what I'll do now is I will transition from that statement to a more general type conversation. As a relatively new YouTuber with a growing channel, I'm learning how to best utilize some of the tools that YouTube has to offer in terms of creating content and sharing it online. One thing I like about WordPress is the ease in which I can embed my videos. All right, so what do I mean by that statement? So if we go over here, we'll notice that for the first media item over here in this blog post, we have my YouTube video. And then I have my content. So that's that blog post, right? Now, how did I do that? Well, I'm using a plugin that's automatically add video as thumbnail. So that's a plugin that I'm using. And let me see if I can grab that up real quick. Let me go over here so I can show you what that is. Give me 1 second as I find that plugin. Make sure the audio is still good. Automatic featured images from YouTube. So let me view the details. And I'm going to go to the WordPress plugin page. So this is the plugin that I'm using to accomplish that, where I'm automatically creating the featured image from my YouTube videos. So the way it works is you just grab the embed link of a video and then you put it inside of the blog post itself. So that's what I did for this one. Now, what I'll do is I'll give you a demonstration of how that works. I'll go over here to hey, what's up, Tax Action? Good to see you again. I saw you yesterday. Thanks for coming back. I'm doing more of a blogging video today. So if you have any questions in terms of blogging, just let me know about that. All right, so let me go grab a embed link from one of my videos. I'll go to my videos. Don't mind me if I'm looking back and forth. I am working on a triple monitor setup here. So that's what's going on here. Let's see. All right, so if I want to, what I could do is I'm going to grab the video just from yesterday. I'll grab the embed video. I'm using the TubeBuddy tool over here. Go to Advanced Embed. And I'll just grab that URL right there. Copy that. Close. Go back here. And I'll just paste that in there. Now, I did add some custom code that enables me to have the featured image only for the archive pages, but to use the video for the actual blog post. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to preview it in another window. All right, so now this is yesterday's video. So I just embedded it, and then once it goes live, it'll be a regular image for the blog roll page, and it'll be the video for the blog post itself. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. Put it into the chat section. I'm just showing you part of my process of creating blog posts on your website. Now, another thing that you're going to want to do is work with your images. So I'll demonstrate how I do that here. What I'll typically do is grab, if I'm going to be embedding an image, what I'll do is I'll start up my Photoshop. And let me just go over here real quick. I'm going to open up Photoshop. And now what I'll do is I will, let's say I'm going to use this over here. I'll go back to the center screen, display center. All right, so now this is the thumbnail that I'm using for this video. And I'm also going to have it used for the blog post. But I only have to create it once, since I'm going to be pulling in that URL from the video itself. So let's say I'm working with this here. I'll put in my layer, I have my image, I'll have my text, I create the blog post, and then I'll save it. I'll save it, to the desktop or somewhere. Let's say I'm gonna do this as just a sample. All right, so I'll just say sample like that, and then let me X out of this. This is Photoshop. This is one way you can deal with this. So what I like using is a tool called JPEG Mini. Testing, testing. All right, so we're back. Audio dropped out again. No reason, no, I don't understand why the audio is dropping today, but we got to back up. All right, so now let's go back to the display center. All right, so I have the JPEG mini over here. So I have that image right here. Let's look at the properties. And then we look at it, we could see that it's 341 kilobytes. So that's, that's pretty large. So if I want, what I could do is take that image, drag it in there. It'll reduce the file size. Look at the properties. All right, so this video is going to be interesting since it keeps on dropping the sound. I'll take a look at that, see what the issue is, and if it persists, then I might have to, shut down this live stream and do some investigating on the system. It happens. This is part of, live streaming on YouTube or any platform for that matter. There might be some technical difficulties that pop up. All right, so we see that now the file size is 134 kilobytes. So that is, something we always have to try to keep down as much as possible. JPEG Mini is a really cool application that I have for my desktop. But if you, thank you, Tax Action. But if you want to use the free version of it, you could just go to the, let me see what I have here. Go online. Right over here, and then you could upload directly. So you can go, we can go to upload photo, press to upload photos, or you can just drag and drop. So let me just drag and drop another image here. What I'll do is I will go over here. Let me grab yesterday's intro image. So this is the intro image I had for yesterday's video. And we look at the properties, 370 kilobytes. Now, drag it there. It's going to process it in their backend. And then it's going to show you the reduction in size. So I went from original size 371 to 167 in kilobytes for this image. And you see there's no quality loss, very minimal of anything. You may not be able to view any of the issues there or of any quality change. Another tool you might want to use is Tiny JPEG. Right here, you can do the same thing. This image is still the same size because I haven't downloaded the other one from JPEG Mini. So you can just drag the image in again. It'll process it. And you're going to find that this one actually does a better job in terms of the reduction of the image size. And this is free to use. You can upload 20 images at once, max file size of 5 megabytes each. So that's really cool. But they're both free to use, and then you could just upload the image to your website. So if I wanted to download it, I could just download that image right there. And then I could just bring it into my blog post. So let me go over here. I'm going to bring in the starting image real quick. And then go right here. All right, so we're back. So now I could just bring in that image over here if I want, and then it'll be a optimal file size. So that's something you definitely want to, check out. So again, there's websites that you could use, a tiny JPEG or JPEG mini for that image optimization. So I'm just going to X out of those now. And then I'll bring up another chat section as well. All right. All right, so let me see. Do we have any more questions coming up? We have, let me see. So we have no new questions. You lost, oh yeah, Nick. Thank you, Nick. I see that I lost sound again. Yeah, so just looking back. Yeah, the sound keeps dropping. I do apologize for that. That's something I'm going to definitely be investigating. All right, so go back to the center display. And then live streaming is something that's becoming more important for content creators to focus on since we live in the world of reality TV. So that is that first statement for that paragraph. As a relatively new YouTuber with a growing channel, I'm learning how to best utilize some of the tools that YouTube has to offer in terms of creating content and sharing it online. One thing I like about WordPress is the ease in which I can embed my videos, as I just demonstrated by using just the embed video link. So then I can go into my next paragraph. And generally what you want to do is try to keep these to about 300 or more words. Ideally, you can go to about 1,000 words. Neil Patel, he says that you should go to about 4,000 words if possible. And the reason for that is because long form content is something that gives you a better chance to get discovered online, because obviously the more information you have within a blog post or an article, the easier it is for Google to be able to index the information on your site. So that's why you want to try to have as many words as possible. All right, so I'll go to the next line over here. As always, there are learning curves and challenges that need to be dealt with. But as with everything, practice makes perfect. All right, so I'm just jotting down my ideas, and that's what you're going to have to focus on when you're doing these. You're going to have to, make sure that you have your rough draft, you have your intro, you have your body, and then you have your conclusion or your closing. So let me just make sure the audio levels are still good. Let me know if there's any syncing issues also between the audio and the video. That's something I want to make sure is always going to be on point. All right, let me just check my phone real quick, see if I have any messages. Nope. All right, good. All right, so now we're going to go back here. We'll scroll down. We'll look at the problems again. We see that the sentences have been, percentage has reduced, so that's good. And then we still have to work on this passive voice. So this is using the Yoast SEO plugin. I do have a video on that as well. So if you want to take a look at that video, it's over on my channel on how to set up Yoast SEO. It is 20-minute, I believe, long video. And it goes over some of the most important parts of Yoast SEO. So you definitely might want to check that out. All right, let me see. I think I did that a while ago, so I probably have to update that video as well. Let's see. Somewhere around here. Right there. So Yoast SEO, I did this video on April 24th of 2017. So yeah, it's about a year ago, so I definitely have to definitely have to get a new version of that video up. But you can check that one out, and I'll show, it'll cover some of the most important settings that you should have, set up for Yoast on your website. All right, so let's go back over here. As always, there are learning curves and challenges that need to be dealt with. But as with everything, practice makes perfect. All right. So Charlie Gray says, great job. You're pioneering. Awesome. Going to review your reverse engineering WordPress presentation next. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Charlie. I appreciate that. Yeah, just trying something different with these videos. Trying to find creative ways to create more content. So figured live blogging, I haven't seen anybody do it yet, so I figured let me try it out. See if it's something that, people like to watch, or maybe it's something that I just have to scrap and do something different. But, like everything, you just got to try new things out. Let me see if we have any other comments here, or if we have any more. All right, so we have 5 people watching, 47 minutes long so far. It's amazing how time flies. This is definitely interesting how time flies. All right, so I'll go back over here, and maybe I want to, put in a shorter point or a shorter title for the next section of this body section. So you saw I have my H2 there. So now maybe I want to put in H3, and then I'll close that off here. These are just HTML tags that I'm using. So now the start of a blog post is going to be a H1 tag over here. Then you have your H2 tags, and then you're going to want to go down the line. So that's why I'm putting in H3 over here. My streaming challenges. So you know what? I'm going to write down over here what I found challenging. Obviously, live streaming can introduce issues if you have poor internet connection, or if for some reason glitches within the software pop up, as happened within this video. All right, so let me see. Just looking at the comments, Tax Action says the good thing is I can rewatch the beginning. Good move putting yourself out there. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Charlie Grace, the second, says, don't scrap it. Get good. With some time invested, you never know what valuable asset you may have acquired. When opportunity comes knocking, you just got to keep on pushing through. Thank you so much, Charlie. That's something I tell people. Don't be afraid, to put yourself out there. And what's the worst thing that can happen? What, something's going to glitch on your software? You just power through it. You don't stop. You don't you don't allow that to prevent you from achieving your goals. So my goal is, to be a content creator. I'm a full-time freelance coder, and I design themes and plugins and websites for everyone from small-time bloggers to, to realtors, to lawyers, and to other types of websites. So part of my strategy in terms of marketing is being out there, going on to social media, and obviously now creating these videos on YouTube. If you go to my earlier videos on YouTube, you'll see that they were quite comical. And I'm actually gonna, just to go over what Charlie said about, get good. I want to show you one of my earlier videos, and bear with me. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I want to show you what my earlier, let me go over here, my some of my earlier videos, because it's hilarious. And I don't mean as in comedy. What I mean is as in let me see, go right here. They keep on changing. Well, they don't keep on changing, but they often change. As you see, I had a failed attempt over here. That one was 21 seconds. I should delete that video. But all right, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to sort and then to the oldest. And this is hilarious. And I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I'm leaving these videos up because these are some of my earliest projects over here. And you can see the thumbnail size is totally off. Like I didn't know what I was doing with that. And once I play one of them, you'll see that the audio wasn't as good as it should be, and the image capture that I was using wasn't the best. So let's see something from a while ago. Let's see how to install WordPress. Let's see. Let me my little intro there. Welcome back to another episode of WordPress Tutorials with PixemWeb. In today's tutorial, we're going to go over the process of installing WordPress onto your web server. So as you see in this video, I didn't even have the full screen taken up. So that's interesting. And the audio is not as optimized or as good as it should be, but that was a couple of years ago, and it's definitely something that I took a significant amount of time working on to improve. So now I have over about 239 videos uploaded to YouTube, and I've learned along the way, the best way to create these videos. And I'm still learning because, look, I'm still new. I'm still a small-time YouTuber. Everyone who's here watching and people who have watched my other videos have helped me grow, and the comments have definitely helped me to improve my content. But I definitely want to get better at this stuff. But that was just a demonstration of the beginning of my YouTube career and to where I'm at now, where my videos are getting a little bit better. All right, so let's go back here. So this is going to be part of my subheading over here, my H3 heading. Obviously, live streaming can introduce issues if you have poor internet connection or if for some reason glitches within the software pop up. Glitches are going to cause issues. And, that's something that you're going to find often. One thing I forgot to mention is this t-shirt that I'm wearing says that I don't always test my code, but when I do it in production. That's just a joke. It's saying that you shouldn't do cowboy coding. You should definitely, test your code. But, sometimes you just got to bring it, right? So let's go back over here. I'm sharing my experience and all the many mistakes I've made over the years creating content online. That's one thing I tell people all the time. You have to, you learn more by people who have made mistakes within the same field that you're in. It's easy to put on a filter on everything that you do. If you want to pretend to be Mr. or Mrs. Perfect, that's easy to do. You see that all the time on social media where people put on a filter and they pretend that everything is going, perfectly. But we all make mistakes, and we all, run into obstacles when we're creating content or when we're doing whatever it is that we're looking to do. So finding a way to be able to push through it is something that you have to learn. You got to develop a thick skin because, there's going to be critics out there, and there's going to be people who don't like what you create. And that's fine because everybody has a different opinion of what's good. What's amazing to me might be something that's completely horrible to somebody else. So you have to be able to deal with that and, take it with a grain of salt. As, somebody else said, just dust off the dirt off your shoulder, right? So, let me continue here. I'm sharing my experience and all the many mistakes I've made over the years creating content online. All right, so then I'll say something like, streaming does open the doors to easily creating videos that don't need to be edited later on. And that's something that is important because when you are creating videos, or when you're, creating complex content, sometimes you want to make it as perfect as you can. Eliminate the hiccups. Software does cause issues sometimes, and maybe your screencasting program will crash. Maybe your computer will, for some reason, just start acting up on you. But you could always edit things out later on, right? So, you kind of create videos and you create content, and then you try to make it as perfect as you can. The problem is that takes up a significant amount of time. If you go over here to one of my videos, let me show you. It's one of my super long videos that I created. It's about a 2-hour long video. And it's this one over here. This is 2 hours long, almost 2 hours. Learn how to code a WordPress theme. Development tutorial with Bootstrap 4 and underscores and DevWP is the training theme that I have. So that video right there is about 2 hours. But that's an edited 2 hours. I spent probably 5 hours editing that video, taking out all the trying to balance out the audio, trying to, color grade the video, and trying to make it as seamless as possible, and eliminating any content or anything that might not have been important to the title of or the context of that video, but it took a long time to do. Now, these live videos, these streaming videos are raw. You're just putting yourself out there, and you're taking a risk, and you're taking a chance, and you're doing something that maybe, might have issues, like the sound going off every now and then. So I keep on looking over here to my audio source. I'm going to bring that in right here. This is Open Broadcaster. So I'm monitoring the audio for that. All right. So I'll go back here. Streaming does open the doors to easily creating videos that don't need to be edited later on. This is definitely an advantage or benefit when trying to create content to quickly share with the world. So that's that. And again, this is just a rough draft, this video here. Thank you to the people still watching. I know this is a different type of video that I normally do. Just trying different strategies out. All right, so now we see I have 258 words. And then we go down. We see that that's gone down again to 42%. And the passive voice has gone down a little bit. But apparently I have to be a little bit more, I guess, assertive, because it says the passive voice. If we go over here to their blog article for Yoast SEO, it goes more into what the passive voice is, what is a passive voice, and the better alternative. So it shows you an example. This product can be bought in our web shop. The better alternative says customers can buy this product in our web shop. All right, so it's just talking about a passive voice, why you should avoid it, incorrect detection. So it tells you sometimes there might be issues with their algorithm and how they are identifying a passive voice. So that's a good article to read. And then over here, we can take a look at their article about short sentences, 5 tips for to write readable blog posts. So let's take a look at this. Focus on your audience. Tip number 1, clear paragraphs. Short sentences, try to keep it under 20 words per sentence. And then it says limit the difficult words. It's easy to try to put in jargon, I guess, right? You may want to sound as smart as you possibly can. You may have some million-dollar words that's part of your vocabulary, but in reality, the purpose of communicating is to get your thoughts across to the world. So you want to try to get your words or your vocabulary to be as understandable as possible. That doesn't mean you have to talk like a kindergartner or a first grader, but it just means that you have to know your audience. And if you are a doctor, talking about a condition that a person might have, you're not going to talk to the patient as you would talk to a colleague. Or if you're a lawyer, you wouldn't talk to your client in the same vernacular or the same vernacular. I just said don't use the big words, right? There you go. So you won't use the same words that you would with your client that you would with one of your colleagues in law. So that's pretty much what this talks about. Just limit your difficult words. Then use transition words and then mix it up. And then, of course, they say use Yoast SEO. All right, so obviously that's a good idea. I'll close these off. Let me close that off as well, just so I don't have too many windows open. Just wonder how my processes I'm running right now. It says 32% for my CPU. Memory is at 18%. Look at the performance. Look at my graphs. All right. Okay. All right, so nothing's going too crazy over here. Everything's being normal. All right, so go back up. And then let's say I'm going to go to another paragraph, because you don't want each paragraph to be too long. And then we also don't want your subheadings or your sections to be longer than they need to be. And we see the readability is still okay. So we'll go over here. We'll I plan on live streaming on a more consistent basis, and also mixing in some of my more produced and edited type of videos that I normally create. Let me see, Tom Angst has joined. Definitely going to rewatch this great content. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Do note, Tom, that there's been a couple of glitches within this video where the audio did cut out, but I didn't have to restart my screen or my OBS software, the Open Broadcaster software. I was just able to reconnect the microphone and then get the audio back up and going as well. So it happened twice so far, so I keep on looking to my monitor to make sure the audio is good, and some of the other people watching have definitely been helpful in letting me know when the audio has cut out, so that way I can go in there and try to fix it up. Because since I'm doing these doing this blog post, I might not see when the sound cuts out. And then Tax Action says I do have to read those articles supplied by Yoast SEO. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Yoast SEO produces a lot of great content, right? It's what they do. They have, let me see. Besides that one, you should definitely check out their blog, where they have different categories. You can look by the topics: content SEO, e-commerce, social media, SEO basics. So you may want to take a look at that. And then you can look at the basics of SEO and what you should be focusing on when you're creating content. So, that's something you may want to take a look at. Let me jump over here again. Let me see what I have going on here. All right. Don't mind me, I keep on jumping back and forth to make sure that the audio is good, the visuals are good, and that there isn't anything that might be causing an issue when it comes to this streamcast, or this live stream that I'm creating here. And I think I'm actually going to go delete the one video that was like 10 seconds long. There was a misfire over here. So let me just oh, it's actually not up. All right, so that's good. All right, so let's go back here. I plan on live streaming on a more consistent basis, and also mixing in some of my more produced and edited type of videos that I normally create. Matter of fact, I'm going to stop that sentence there, because I want to keep my sentences as short as possible. So let me I put in a period there, and then the And we're back. All right, so audio is good. Just got it back. Just saw that. Tax action, just saw that. Thank you. Let me see. So I definitely have to inspect this system, see what the issues were. This just means that later on today, I'll be going through the log files of my computer and identifying any errors that might have taken place. And that's something that's important to do as well, because you want to make sure that your system is running fine and that you don't have any errant processes that are going to cause long-term issues with your computer. So I like looking at the log files for that. All right, so let me see. According for WordPress and also the best themes and plugins you would benefit from using on your website. All right, new line. All right, so now we have 319 words. As I mentioned before, your typical blog post is going to be around, ideally, more than 300, closer to 1,000. And if you follow Neil Patel's advice, let me see, he says 4,000 words, right? Neil Patel, 4,000 words. He has a whole entire article, 3,000 words. Let's see. Why 3,000 plus word blog posts get more traffic, a data-driven answer. So you can take a look at his article over here, and he goes into in-depth information on, why longer blog posts are something that is going to be something you want to focus on. And he gives a lot of data on that. So I'm not going to obviously read this all to you because that would take longer than this video has been on so far. But, it's definitely a good read. You definitely want to check this out to see what would be ideal. He goes into the headings, the H1, H2, H3, the hierarchy, things of that nature. So definitely check that out. Neil Patel, he has some great content for search engine optimization. He's definitely known within the field of SEO and online marketing. And some of his advice goes counter, actually, to what Yoast SEO says. Because Yoast SEO says that you should have, let me see, Yoast SEO, how long should a blog post be? Let me see here. Is this the article? All right. So, he talks about a blog post should contain at least 300 words in order to rank well in the search engines. Long posts will rank more easily than short posts. However, long posts require strong writing skills. Not every writer will be able to write readable blog posts of more than 1,000 words. So I guess that's why this number has stuck within my mind of the ideal length, because it's true. You want to obviously have enough content of substance on your articles and your blog posts, but you also want to make sure that it's not full of fluff and full of unnecessary type of content, and that it's providing value. So if you are a novel type writer, then maybe 4,000 or 3,000 words would be easy to do. But, not all of us, and definitely not me. I'm not one of those long content type writers, and I'm not a novelist, so I tend to keep my blog posts to be within about the 1,000 word range. I do have some that are shorter, and then I do have others that are longer. I have done some that are about 2,000 words, but those take a serious amount of time to put together. So I'm looking at the chat section over here. And yeah, Tax Action says that OBS is funny like that from what I've heard. Yeah, I mean, there's been some issues that people have had with OBS, and I'm definitely, staying on top of what other content creators or, vloggers or YouTubers have commented about OBS and some of their challenges, because like anything, you have to learn from other people's experiences, and that's what I'm doing here. So we have 319 words. This is starting off the framework of my blog post, blogging about my experience live streaming on YouTube. And then I have my two somewhat paragraphs there in the H3. The H3 is going to be embedded into the H2 in terms of the heading hierarchy. And then, we can put in another H2. And again, this is just a rough draft, so I will obviously clean this up significantly before I, go, publish this and put this out to the world to read. So, what I've learned about YouTube Live. So we'll go over here. Let me see. I saw for a second that the readability score did go up. Did I see that? Or am I bugging over here? Let me see. Who knows? All right, so what I've learned about YouTube Live so far. There are things you have to consider, such as, and maybe I'll put in a list over here just to mix it up. That's something you're going to want to do often when you're blogging. Mix up the formatting of the content. So maybe I'll do an unordered list, and then I'll put in a list item over here. So I'll say you need a quiet environment. That's one thing you need, obviously. And right now, my son, I have 3 kids, and my son is asleep. He's taking a nap, so that's why I'm able to do this live stream at this point in time. So, all right, so you need a quiet environment. So I'll close off that list item right there. Put in another list item. You definitely need to make sure your hardware and software are working properly. That's obviously not working right there. Close that off and then put another list item. But be prepared for issues and monitor your controls in the software you're using. All right. I'll end that off there. And then if you wanna, you can close the unordered list right there. So now we have the, if we preview this, see how it's looking now. It's just a preview. So we have the video here. Now I'm gonna swap this out because I'm gonna use the thumbnail from today's video in this process. So I'm definitely gonna swap that out. But right now, this is what I have as a placeholder. So it has my H1 up here. This gap over here is because of the admin bar. So I have this extension right there that eliminates that. So we have the H1, the video, the H2, some content, and then we have the H3 over here, and then we have the other H2 over here, and then my unordered list. All right, so that's how it's looking so far. All right, there's obviously some formatting that I have to work on, but that's going to be in the cleanup process or the cleanup part of creating this blog post. So does anybody have any questions? We have just a couple of people on the live stream now. Does anybody have any questions in terms of, creating these blog posts or articles? Just let me know. Just put it into the chat box, and I'll take a look at that and try to check it out. Let's see. All right, so, all right. No new questions. Okay, so what I'll do now is I will talk about, once you're done, with your article, you're going to want to make sure you use the right categories. You're going to want to make sure you use the right tags for your blog post and your articles. That's something that I'll go more in depth on in another tutorial on the exact difference between a category and a tag. You want to make sure you have your featured image covered and go over your SEO settings. And then once you're done, you see we're going down here within the passive voice. That's down to 19%, so that's good. And then we have this down as well to 38%. This started off at around, I think it was like 50% in the beginning. And then the passive voice was something about around 25%. So we're definitely on the right track. And then these are still good over here, so that's good. But, you definitely want to make sure you cover some of the most important aspects of creating your content. One of them being that you should definitely optimize your images. And that's what I showed you by using an application on my computer called JPEG Mini and some of the free versions of those image optimization software that you could use for free online. Now, obviously, there's some plugins you could use with WordPress. They do a great job, but what I find is treating or optimizing your content, before you upload it is going to be something that will get you better results than waiting till after the fact. So we have another question here from Tax Action. I do need to know the importance of categories and tags. That would be helpful. All right, so categories and tags, just, a quick rundown of what they are, is obviously a way to categorize your content on your website. You have your categories, and you should pretty much stick to one category, at most maybe two per article or blog post, and then have as many tags as possible. So if I am going to create a category of, let's say, social media, that could be like an overarching category, or it could actually be a tag as well, because you could have, content marketing being your main category, and then you can create tags that are like, say, Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn and Instagram and Snapchat, and those could be your tags. So you definitely have to identify, the structure of your website, the content that you're going to be creating, and then sticking to a format of having ideally one category per article. So meaning like you don't have an article being posted in 5 different categories, because that can cause an issue when it comes to people navigating your website. So you want to have maybe a blog post associated with maybe one category, and then maybe have like 5 or 6 tags that are associated with that. So you have the tagging system, which can be something similar to like hashtags. You can take it into that type of that type of analysis in terms of identifying it like a hashtag type of deal. And then your categories are the more prominent type of ways to categorize your content. But I'll do a real in-depth tutorial on the difference and the technical benefits of each categories and tags. You should definitely have each of your blog posts to be part of a category, and tags are optional. They're not as important to the to your website, but it's still another way for people to get around your website content. So focus on that. So I will probably place this article maybe in social media. I got to redo my categories, as a matter of fact, re-optimize them. And sometimes what you may want to focus on also is having your categories no followed and your tags no followed, so that way you won't run into duplicate content issues. And if you do change things around, you won't suffer as much within the algorithm of Google or any search engine, in terms of the links disappearing. Obviously, you should do a 301 redirect. There's a bunch of tools you could use for that. You can either code it with HT Access 301 redirect, or you can use a plugin to accomplish that. So I'll actually put this in YouTube category, and maybe I'll create the tag of live streaming will be one. Let's say video video. I guess that could be one. Again, this is a draft, so I'm just putting those like that for now. All right, so let's save the draft. All right, so we've been on this live stream for about an hour and 22 minutes. I did have a couple of issues with the audio, so I definitely want to check that out. I have about 368 words here, so I'll definitely clean this up before I publish it. But does anybody have any questions that they want to ask before I wrap up this live stream? Just want to make sure I answer anybody's questions. One question that people often ask, and I think I answered it in one of my videos, is where can you get good free images for your website? That's something that people have always wanted to focus on. I did a video. Let me see. So it's next page over here. Let's see. I did a video that featured the top 10 websites where you can get free images. So it's this one right here. It's top 10 websites for free pictures for your blog. So this one you could that video right there, you can definitely watch that one, and you'll get ideas on some of the best websites that you can get free pictures. But just a quick look, PixemWeb is one of them. That's a great place to get images for your website. Unsplash is another one. Unsplash.com, get free images. And then another one that I use is pexels.com. So these are the three main websites that I use to get images if I need something that I don't currently have within my catalog of images that I've taken. So if you need something for a blog post, you can get something here, in Unsplash or in Pexels. They also have videos, so that's really cool too. So if you're creating, let's say, something for YouTube, you can, let me see. Let's see. You can go tools. Let me see. They have the video one, Pexel videos right here. You can go to their videos section, and they have a bunch of cool videos as well. So you could use these when you're creating your, your videos for YouTube. I've used them a couple of times, but I haven't really used them too much for the video formats. You just want to search and you can get these videos or the images, and you could use them completely free on your website. You don't have to give any attribution. They use Creative Commons type of licensing, meaning you're free to use it for personal content that you're creating or for commercial type of content. So that's really cool. So for tax action, let me see what would be cool for him to use. Let's see money. You can get some of these images over here. So if you need if you're doing a blog post about accounting, or you're doing a blog post about the financial markets, and you need a stock image to use, this is where you can go. And you can get some of these images. So let's say you are going to write an article about, anything to do with money, and you want something like this. You see the licensing over here. See, it says free for personal and commercial use, no attribution required. Even though literally every single image I've seen on these types of websites all have this type of license, it's always good just to verify. So just always verify the license. It'll signify it right there. And then, you can download it. You can download a specific size if you want. You can create a custom size. So that's really cool. So definitely check it out if you need images, and then just edit the image within your editing program. If you don't have Photoshop and you need to edit your images, you can choose canva.com. So Canva is a free photo editing platform that you could use online. So it's completely free. They obviously have paid add-ons, and you can buy some stock images from them directly. But you can take your images, you could upload it here, and they have a photo editor that you could work with. So you'll upload or drag your photo in there. Let me see if I can drag a photo now to work with. Let me see. Let's say you're gonna, now normally I'm logged in when I do this, so I don't typically log or edit these images when I'm logged out. But when you're logged in, you get some more tools. But here's the basic editing. Let's say I want to crop this. I can crop it. I can make it into a square. Let's say I'm going to share this on Instagram, and I want to use the squared format. You could do that. Go back to the original size. I could adjust the brightness if I want to play around with that. I could adjust the contrast, saturation, and there's more tools that Canva offers when you're logged in to their service. So definitely check it out. It's free to work with, but you could you could definitely let's say mess around with the images, even when you're not logged in. Say you want to put a filter on it, festive, drama, some different types of basic filters you could work with over here. Go back to normal. You can really, play around with this. And then you just download it to your system, and then you edit it. So let's say you want to resize it. You can resize it to be a different format. Obviously, every social media platform has different size requirements. So, you want to make sure that the image is optimized in terms of the aspect ratio and the image sizes for that specific platform. So Canva is a great photo editor if you need to edit your photos for free and not using a application like Photoshop. To get your stock videos, check out Pexels. And for photos, Pexels, Unsplash, and Pixabay as well. Pixabay also has videos as well. So you can also check out their video section. I'm going to close out some of these. Let me go over here. Check out the comments. Let me see. All right. Let me close this one out. I have too many windows open, and that can always cause issues. So let me just close these out. I'm going to leave. I don't need to finish editing that. Take a look at these articles from Yoast SEO and from Neil Patel's blog. They have some great information on what you can do to enhance the SEO value of your articles. And take a look at some of my other videos that I have on my channel. I've been on this live stream for about 1 hour and 29 minutes. I've only gotten 368 words done. So definitely this is distracted blogging. So, you want to really focus when you're doing this type of stuff. You don't want to, just push out content without really focusing on what the content's going to be about. So definitely set aside time. That's why this is going to be a rough draft for now. And then after the live stream, I'll actually go in there, edit, fine tune, enhance, and try to get the SEO score for the readability to be, better in terms of the actual SEO for the content. Now you see, in terms of the analysis, it's actually gone down in a couple of sections. So we need to put in the alt attributes. So that's something you have to do as well. So you could focus on that as well. You edit the image that's created. So if it's there, you can put in an alt text. YouTube live stream, my blogging process. All right, so do that. And now we have that done. So that should be removed once we save the draft. Text Action says, I use the free version of Canva for social media. Great tool. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, when you're working on let me bring this down here. So when you're working on a image that you want to really, fine tune, maybe you have the software installed on your computer, or sometimes you could just work with a free tool like Canva that can get the job done as well. All right, so I think I'm going to start wrapping this up. I think I hear my son waking up. I hear some of his toys being played with in the background, which means any moment now he's going to come running in here and probably ask me for like ice cream or something. So, all right, so just before he actually does run in, or before I cut this video short, let me know if you have any other questions. I'm looking at the audio, seems to still be okay. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to focus on, or what type of videos I should create moving forward. I'll give it a couple more minutes, and then I'll make my attempt to do a outro for this video. Let me see. In the meantime, let me get the outro music that I'll be using for this. Again, just to let me know if you have any questions in the meantime. Checking the audio, still good. All right, so I think I'm going to start wrapping it up. We've been here for a while now, and I'll go in here and I'll edit this up. This is just going to be this is all trial and error, and I'm going to bring in my outro music now. Let me bring that up. Now I'll bring in my outro image. Let's see. What do I want to put? Let me go over here. Should definitely have the stuff prepared in advance. But here we go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for watching. A little dance, victory dance, getting to the end. Having some fun. That's how this stuff works. Let me know if you like the dancing, if you like the music, if there's any music that I should use. Obviously, the music I use is allowed to be used on video, so that's not an issue. It's one of my favorite songs for this. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me bring that up. Try something different.
I know you've been down thinking about him again. I know that your heart's been broken. You should try and let it go and start being yourself. You can put on your dress. We can play your favorite song, and I will take care of you, care of you, care of you. This is what we need. This is what we have to do. Tell me, can you feel it too? Feel it too? Maybe you should go to work.
making my own little remix over here. Tax Action has a question. Where can I get music from? There's the audio library that you can get from YouTube. And there's also some other paid services. So I have the paid service from Epidemic, Epidemic Music. I'll bring that up over here. Epidemic Sound. Let me go bring that. So you can go right here to Epidemic Sound. They have YouTube subscriptions. So I have my subscription. But besides that, you can go to the audio library. So over here, you can get some music for your videos as well. So definitely check that out. Library.
Do you miss me at all? Do you think about the things we used to do? No, you couldn't stand tall.
Gotta check some messages on my iPhone.
Why didn't you call? So many years gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all. But why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air. Inexplicable, I can feel it in the air. Can you feel
Don't care what you came from, only what you gon' do tonight. This is what we came for. Let's find out what we're made of tonight. The way you rock the dance floor, I can feel your heartbeat on mine. I don't know what I'm in for, but baby, keep it going. I don't mind. We dance like nobody's watching. Dance like nobody's watching. My hands on your body, surroundings getting foggy tonight, but we just getting started.
Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe.
Unite, and we just wanna stay. It's obvious, it's so clear now. I know what I'm in for, so baby, keep it going. I don't mind. We dance like nobody's watching. Dance like nobody's
So many years gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all, but why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air. Inexplicable, I can feel it in the air. Can you feel me? Do you miss me at all? Do you think about the things we used to do? No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all, but why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air.
Subscribe.
Inexplicable, I can feel it in the air. Can you feel me? Can you feel me? You feel me?
down thinking about him again. I know that your heart's been broken. You should try and let it go and start being yourself. You can put on your dress, we can play your favorite song, and I will take care of you, care of you, care of you. This is what we did, this is what we have to do. Tell me, can you feel it too, feel it too? Baby, you should go work that body. You should go work that body. The body won't stop till we great and old. Maybe for a second we can lose control. You should go work that body.
Did you ever know somebody who slipped away and left the city? I'm just here to tell my story and let you know this shit ain't pretty. Take my word and make it turn. If my tale sounds just like
I just wanna hold you.